and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do our May wrap up, but we're going to do it a little bit differently to how it's usually done. So usually I've already compiled everything I'm going to talk through, but today we're going to do it on the spot so you can get my live reactions to everything that I've done during May. And I'm not really going to be very surprised about what comes up because obviously I've done it, but you'll see my actual when you total everything up what actually happened. So my goal for last month was to stay consistent. So I'm just going to go through now through my lovely Strava profile and see if that's happened. Who actually knows? I'm feeling it was a bit up and down. So if I go to my runs, we've got a 32 week, a 4 week, a 0 week, a 12 week, and a 38. So not very consistent, as you can see. I think the main issue there is that for a couple of weeks I was quite ill. And when I say ill, I just mean I had a cold basically. But I was also just really drained and fatigued from it. And I have no idea why that was kind of happening. And I thought the best thing to do was just kind of take a step back from running. So instead I was doing yoga and some strength sessions that weren't too intense and just kind of keep it going. Didn't help with my running goal, but hopefully it still kept things ticking over. So I'm in a better shape now coming out of it than I was kind of around that time. And hopefully it still helped in some ways, not the way I wanted it to, but in some kind of way. So mileage wise, let me have a look. The best way for me to check this is actually Garmin. So I'm going to go over to the Garmin app. And see what it's done. So look at running, and we're going to look at my 1 year, and I'm going to scroll to May. Okay. 63 kilometers. So that is like a third of what I did the previous month. So if you can see here, that's what it's looking like mileage wise. Yeah, that is an average of 2 kilometers a day and just 15k a week. So that is roughly 10k on Wednesday and parkrun on Saturday. So that's not much, is it? And in fact, one of those days I pretty much did that in one day. So yeah, not entirely impressive. But again, you just gotta do what you feel like. And I really wasn't feeling like it during May. So I'm not gonna be too harsh on myself. But that is quite a drop back from everything this year. That is so far the worst running month. So yeah, didn't even get into triple figures, and I'm nowhere near 100 kilometers. So for anybody in miles, that is it's going to look like a whole lot less. So let's quickly do that calculation. So 63.4 divided by 1.6, so that is 39 miles. It's over a marathon, but it's not 2. And I didn't do a marathon. So that's a little bit disappointing, but I'm not going to hold it against myself. So I'm going to go back over to Strava to work out my favourite session of the month. So we've not got very many to pick from. So one thing that's kind of annoying is that you can't oh, actually I do. Oh no, we'll talk about that later. So I can't choose that one. Okay. Yeah, you can't filter after like activities, so after keep scrolling, so I'm still in June. Right, May. Okay, reading, walks, doesn't count. That was a walk, that doesn't count. Oh yeah, I also had some work kind of stresses. So my dance school did exams, so quite a lot of the time I was sorting out admin for that, which doesn't make for the best balance. Because I always have something cropping up. I literally just can't remember any of these. That was actually a really nice one. So we'll choose this one. So I joined the 8:30 group at club, literally like the first run of the month. And these took us over towards some green space, which was really nice. There was quite some tough hills, so it was a 11.8 kilometer run from club and back. It looked like this. If you can see that, if not, I'll superimpose a lovely picture of it above. And yeah, it was really nice. I didn't really feel like I was slowing anyone down, which I feel like is quite nice in club. You want to feel like you're in the pace that's right for you. So if you're going too fast, that's not a great feeling, and if you're going too slow, that's also not a great feeling. So I think finding that group where you feel comfortable is good, unless you know that you want to push yourself. And obviously, going up to try a faster run is obviously going to do you great, and hopefully you enjoy it and you're able to keep up a little bit and not, have to keep stopping or like you're feeling out of breath a lot and not. But yeah, it felt lovely. We there was some few little like trail bits and hills, so it was a bit stop starty, but I think that's why I managed it, especially at that point because that was just before I got ill, so I think I was probably still kind of fatigued, and that's probably why I got ill because there was obviously some kind of stress going on somewhere. Races, I did one race, and that was a 5K down in Exeter kind of city centre. It's along like Flower Pots playing field. It's a 2-lap course, it's 5K, so you've got to go out fast and you've got to just keep hanging on. My goal was to kind of get around 22 minutes, so there was a pacer for 22 minutes, so I just stuck with them for the first lap, and then on the second lap, I kind of felt like I had a little bit more, so I went ahead a little bit, and then I lost them a little bit because I then got 21:52, which isn't an official like 5K PB because I managed to do a 5K split a bit quicker in a 5 mile race nearer the start of the year. So if you want to see that video, that is my Exmouth, I think it was 5 miles run, first run that I did of the year, and apparently that has a better split on it. So Strava's not showing it up, but officially that is my fastest 5K. So 21:52 is the time to beat, and in next week's video you will try and see me trying to beat it and see if that happens. But yeah, that was a lovely race. It is one for the speedies. Like when you sign on, there's like an option as to like what like your likely finish time is, and your choices are sub 20 or over 20. So I think if you're like thinking about it, that is the pace range. I think if most people are finishing about that like 20-minute mark. I am not there, so I'm like in the back. And I think when you've got like a sub 25 5K, like that's really good. Like even sub 30 is really good, honestly, but it is a speedy race. So I think if you are around the 30 or like 27 mark, you will find yourself at the back at those races. And, like that's fine, but I think it could probably do a bit more to help those people do better. And I don't know. I think maybe just with it being a midweek race, the speedier people are just coming down because it's quicker. Because it's like, oh, well, it's only half an hour out of my day. Whereas, like, the people that are a little bit slower but still want to push themselves, they're more likely to do, park run or something else on a Sunday because a midweek race probably isn't, they're not thinking about it. But it is a lovely option. And I think if you shouldn't be put off by those speedies, it gives you something to aspire towards a little bit. There are speedy kids there. There are like quite a lot of uni students also that go, and they're proper speedy. So yeah, I think the winner of the maze was like in 16 minutes, and I think the female was like 17 minutes. So it's very fast at the top end. I'm not there yet, and I don't think anyone should be discouraged as they're not there yet either. But we keep working to improve ourselves, and we don't need to catch up with everyone, do we? We just need to, try and improve ourselves. So that's my goal at the minute. Not catch up with them, but overtake myself. So, what is coming up next month? So, I don't even need to look at any kind of stats for that because I know what's coming up. So, my goal for June is again keeping it consistent, but I've actually made that measurable because, smart goals. And to do that, I'm doing a little bit of a run streak. So, for anyone who doesn't know what a run streak is, it is where you pretty much run every day. So, you're doing a streak of running. So if you have a habit streak, you'll do the same thing like every day, and you can't like cross it. You can't not do it. So I've set myself a goal of running at least 5k every day. And whilst I don't want to be strict in the sense that I have to do it every day, like the total distance needs to add up to 5k every day. So that means if I do a 10k at some point, I can not run the next day or if I missed it the day before. But I am going to try and get out every day. So I'll just have extra miles or kilometers racking up to do that. I don't think I'm going to do a video on it because it is just for me. I'm trying to get more consistent and kind of find the joy of running again because I've kind of lost it a little bit just with everything going on and not really feeling like it. So I'm hoping this little run streak will, reignite that flame. At the time that you're watching this, it should be about the 7th of June, is that right? So I will have been 7 days in, and hopefully I wouldn't have dropped the ball yet. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But hopefully I'll, just fall back in love with actually waking up and going for a run. I think I'm also going to be doing the green circle around in Exeter. I think I'm doing that a couple of times because I'm going to lead it for club at some point. So I want to recce it before that to make sure I remember the way because the signs aren't amazing. So at some point you do have to guesstimate which way you're going. So my hope is that I'll recce it a little bit gently and then be able to run it with my 9 to 9:30 group. So nice and chilled one evening, just go out and do it. So that is June. That is my wrap up for May. Obviously not the best running month, so there's not that much to talk about. And if you've had a rubbish May just like me, let us know and we can try and support you and get you back out running. Goals coming up, I would love to hear them. If it's to run quicker, that's great. So my goal is kind of stay consistent for June, then July and August. I'm just gonna kind of try and explore